Hi guys, it's Felix again. This is week 3 of It's a Man's World, and the topic is coming out. Oh, I have to go back a bit for this one, guys, so you'll have to bear with me. I first came out in 2006-7 to my ex-partner, because before I transitioned I was in a lesbian relationship, and started questioning my gender seriously in about 2006. And when I told her that I thought I was trans, she'd already queried this with me a few times because of the stuff that I'd been watching on TV, reactions that she'd seen me giving when other friends came round who were trans. And she, although wasn't overly shocked, it was still quite a big thing for her, because obviously, you know, it was going to impact tremendously if I decided to transition, and it would obviously, change our relationship and the dynamic of our relationship. As she's lesbian and wanted to be with women, and now I was saying that I was a man trapped in a woman's body, and therefore long term, if she stayed with me, she was going to be with a man. So that was quite a big thing for her, and it impacted on our relationship quite a lot. Oh, sorry, that was my phone. Anyway, so I came out to her first, and then I slowly started coming out to friends who were close to me in my inner circle. I did come out to my best friend first, and he was amazing about it, and he just said, well, if this is how you feel about yourself and if this is what you want to do, I'll stick by you. And he has done, and he's been fantastic, and he's a salt of the earth, my best mate. He's always there for me, and I am for him, and he knows that. So I come out to him in 2006 as well, and at that time I hadn't really properly chose a name that I was going to change to, but by the end of 2006 I was pretty much decided that I was going to be called Felix, and I did say to the boys that it was going to be my nickname, as I didn't really at the time want to confuse them or anything else. So I just going to do it in little tiny baby steps, and I said, what do you think? What do you think of the name Felix? And they both liked it, and so that's what I went with, Felix. And then, oh, my silly phone, sorry guys, I'm going to turn this off now, the settings off it, because it's annoying me. So that was the kind of closest people to me, and then after that I just carried on kind of breaking it to people about how I felt about myself, but at that point I hadn't decided I was going to transition definitely, although I was pretty much dressing male, although quite androgynously, to be honest. And I was asking more friends who were close to me to call me Felix, and the pagan group I was in, by 2007, they knew, and I'd told them about my name and that I wanted to be called Felix. And they were very good about it, although it was quite a big thing for them as well. And but they was really, really good, very accepting, very open, and it was really good. The support was there, so that was very important. By 2007 summer, I was pretty much dressing as male full time. Although I still hadn't come out fully in school. I had to my line manager, I was, you know, he knew me as male. But I wasn't fully out to all the staff, and I wasn't fully out to me boss. By the back end of 2007, I'd already split up with my partner, and I was heading towards going to my GP and coming out as trans, and making that decision to go on the clinical pathway so that I could transition. So in 2008, I went off work ill with reactive depression and stress, and from all the things that had been going on in my life. It was a huge reaction to everything. The gender dysphoria had hit its peak. I'd embraced the fact I was trans, and I'd you know, accepted that all these feelings I was having was down to me being trans. So I came out to my GP. That went very well. And she thought I was brave. I said, no, this is not me being brave. This is necessarily what I've got to do to make things right, and so I can function properly in society. So, out to the GP. And then, from then on in, really, it was a case of coming out properly to my son. He'd already suspected that this is what I wanted, and he'd asked me lots of questions. He'd done his own bit of research on the internet, watching documentaries, so you know, he was clued in before I came out to him properly, and he knew something was going on because I was dressing and living and more, and the nickname and everything else. So he was on board. He got on board pretty quickly. He was brilliant, and he's been very supportive. I was off work for 6 months with the depression. I had counselling, which was brilliant. And I'd do it again if I needed it in a flash. You know, it was vital. And then I went back to work in the July, and by this point, obviously, I was ready to go. I changed my name. In the August, I changed my name. So I changed my name after I went back to work officially. Changed my name. So then in the September, I had to actually come out to the staff properly, come out to the head, to be boss, and that was quite hard. And I went in, and I told my line manager, and I said, how can we approach it? And he said, well, I'll have to go and see the boss, and we'll see if we can do it during the training day we was having. So I was really pleased because he was fully behind me. He was very excited for me, and he'd said, oh, finally, you know, you're doing this, and it's great. And because he'd known for a long time that that this was going on for me, and he'd kept it close to himself until I was ready. And then it was agreed that I was going to come out to the whole staff group with his support and to show managerial support. And then 10 minutes before I was due to do this to the whole staff group, the plug was pulled, and I was told, no, we're not going to do it like that. You have to go round and you have to tell every member of staff on your own about the situation. I felt very isolated. It was not a good experience. I had to go and tell every member of staff on my own that I'd changed my name, the reason I'd changed my name, and that I was a trans man and I was going to be transitioning on the job. It was horrible. It was not good. And it's something that has stayed with me, really. And I've never really complained about it or anything like that, because I just wanted to get on with the job and have as least hassles as possible. So I did it myself. And then because of that, consequently, every time I just took it on board and I said, look, if there's out problems, unless I feel I need the management support, I'll deal with them. You know, I'll deal with the children, I'll deal with the staff, you know, and if there's any training you want, I said, you know, Helen can come in and give you any training. She's a trainer, and she does all about equality and diversity and anything. So they knew about Helen. And so that was that, really. And it had its peaks and troughs throughout the time, and people have been good with me and supportive and everything else, and it's not been easy for people, especially people who knew me before. As for family, I came out to them in 2007 when I decided that I was heading towards this, you know, and I was going to transition. I did it through text message, and it all went quite well. And people took it on board, but it was a huge shock. And it's always been very hard for them, and I know that, and for personal reasons. Which if you've seen me other videos you'll know about anyway. So that was my family, and it wasn't all my family, it was just the inner sanctum really of the family, which was the same when I came out as lesbian, really. Nobody ever has known that this other life that I have that exists. So and then anybody else I've come out to? Not really. I think that about covers everybody. Most friends have been great about it. My family are coming to terms with it slowly in their own way. Everybody, my work colleagues, have been very supportive. You know, my close group of friends have been fantastic. My ex have supported me, other friends from before transition have supported me, so really, yeah, I've had quite a good support network in terms of since I've come out. So I suppose not a bad experience by any means. So except that I've got to be in stealth to my mum. That's the only one. But then we all know them reasons, because they're all over my Facebook, all over my videos and stuff. So anyway, right, that's my coming out. That's how it's gone for me. And I hope that's been helpful. And if there's any questions, just drop me a note under here or email me or whatever. So you know where to get me, felix.familiar@hotmail.co.uk, or Facebook or YouTube. So until next week, bye for now.